This is most definitely a useless video. However, I wanted to share this information with you because I feel like it could potentially help ease the pain of progressing through the game, because at least for myself, I have been playing this game wrong. And I want to try and explain really quick what I mean by that. If we take a look at the top left, that purple trial quest line is the main storyline to the game. So if you hit J, you go to Journey. I've just been plowing one after the other just to kind of get through the story. And you don't really necessarily want to do that, because as you're going through the different zones, you start the game down here. Then you end up, coming over here. And then maybe you started going over there and then here, whatever. When I'm over here around the 5th trial that I did, I was starting to struggle with just some of the basic enemies that would be shielded up, especially, even though I kind of know what I'm doing with the melee. But they're just so much stronger. They actually take a little bit of effort to kill depending on your skill, not your level, but your skill and what you've researched. And that's why when you're in each zone, you want to take your time and you want to look for icons that have the 3 houses, because these are areas, as you can see here, I got the intel from here, and that's pretty much the only 2 places I got the intel from. Here I discovered it, but I did not get the intel. Didn't even bother looking at these. The more intel you have, the better, because you can research better weapons, better armor, tools, just everything in general. Arguably, from what I'm starting to understand, is this is more crucial than your actual level at the top right. Okay, you're going to go from doing pretty decent to not so good. And then I was just having a miserable time, honestly, playing the game. And if you look at my map, I just really don't have a lot of stuff that's really uncovered. For example, once you get like 100 intel points, I think that's when you learn like heavy darts, for example. The only reason I've been able to get heavy darts is because my friend that I'm playing with has been giving me some. Okay? So just that as an example for the progression. And once you have better armor and you're able to sustain yourself, then you're just going to do that much better. Think of the enemies not by level, but what they're able to equip themselves with. So for example, I think I've already stated this, I don't remember now. This zone is like pretty much just copper. So the enemies are going to be wearing stuff of armor and weapons that are of the copper quality. You can kind of see the resource density and what's available there, but when you go to mouse over it, it sometimes is a little bit tricky, and it doesn't even really tell you what the resource is anyways. But you can kind of zoom in. Well, not kind of. You can zoom in and sort of see, oh, there's copper ore. Once you go to this zone here, the enemies are going to be slightly more difficult, because now they're able to come across not just copper, but now they're able to come across iron. And if you're not sure like which one's better than what, when you go to research, say you go to like, the weapons here for the combat, the first one's copper. See? Then it's iron. Then it's steel. Then it's aluminum. Then it's duraluminum. Then it's plastanium. Okay, that's the top tier, at least I think it is, based on this here. So again, you could be like copper, right? Iron, steel or whatever. You get the idea? And again, when you mouse over it, you could see the resource density, but you could also see the resources that are in there. So every time you go into a different state, territory, province, zone, area, whatever the hell you want to call it, just be mindful of that to slow down your journey of going through the trials. Try to do some of the side stuff. Really get in there and start backtracking if you have to, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on this journey where I am not going to leave Haga Basin South, however you pronounce it, until every single thing is actually done. And I suppose in closing, what would probably aid in your journey as well is making sure, and I don't really want to show you how to do this because it'll just make the video longer than it needs to be. Make sure that you have your survey probe launcher. Grab some survey probes. You're going to want to climb up and discover all these zones, right? And there's so far only 4 trait posts at which you can fast travel at. So for example, in the first zone, right, there's a fast travel point here. Okay, because there's like a little trade post there, right in here. And then, somewhere along the line, there's another one here. That's 2. Then there's a third one right over here. I'll probably have a link down below in the description box to the map that'll show you all this. And then the other one is over here, Pinnacle Station. So there's only 4. So when I was over here, I was really struggling to get back. You don't want to know how long it took me to go from here to there. So just keep that in mind. Farm a lot of intel so that you have the points to be able to research a bunch of shit. And just don't rush through the main story of the trials, because you're going to end up boning yourself. Unless you're just a much better player than I am. However, speaking with a couple of other people and hearing their stories, they're sharing the exact same sentiment as me. So I know it's not just me. Take care. I really do hope this was somewhat of a useful video. I'm not exactly good at this game or explaining anything that has to do with it. But thumbs up if you did appreciate the video. It does help with the algorithm. Thumbs down if you didn't like it. And I'll bend it in half and twist it. And I'll break this off in your ass. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.